Guys, how's it going? So we are in the backyard again to take a look at another new piece of gear, and it's pretty hard to miss because this is a very large 13 by 13 foot canopy that is fully enclosed with a mosquito net. Now normally whenever we do these, especially like for looking at tents and things of that nature, I will show the step-by-step process of setting things up. But I did film that. The audio just didn't turn out good, so I will throw up some clips, some time-lapse shots of that while I take and run you through a couple of the details of this thing. Now, like one of these fully enclosed canopy type shelters is something that I've wanted to do some like camping stuff with since like 2 years ago, just never got around to getting one. And truthfully, like unless you're ATV camping or at a campground, you don't really have much of a chance to actually implement it because you're not going to find a space in the mountains with that just gives you enough room and it's level. But one of these things is versatile because you can use them for cookouts, parties, just have it set up in the backyard like I do now to chill underneath to keep the sun off of you. The primary use I see myself using this for is whenever I take and do visit a campground. So it's hot and humid and the bugs are out, or if it's going to be particularly rainy, especially when it's kind of humid out, or even as it starts to cool down a bit. It's a great place that you can open cot camp like we're going to do tonight, and I'll show you guys the setup and just how much space is actually underneath this thing. Or you could also take and set up like a one-person tent or something underneath this, and then you have tons of room to take and chill out, still cook, do whatever you need to do if it is particularly rainy and or sunny. So really only the main details that I think I need to mention is that this particular one is a GARVEE. That is the brand name of this. Again, it's 13 by 13 foot. You got 360 degree mosquito netting. I just undone the front two panels here so that it would open it up and you guys could get a better look whenever I take and bring the camera in. At the moment, this thing is selling for starting like $190. That's, before tax and then shipping and things like that. And I will say too, this thing was super quick and easy to set up. One person could do it at the very end. My people came out and it just was quicker to take and throw the mosquito netting up around. The only thing that I got slightly wrong to begin with was whenever I was putting what I'm going to call the cap on there. Right there at the corners, there's these little arms that fold up. They fold flat against each diagonal support piece there, and those just take and flip up, and then you stretch the canopy cap over it, and then when you come up underneath, you can see that it overlaps on the edges. Now, if you had a strong, like windy rain, there is a decent chance that some would probably blow up in underneath. So, that's just one thing to keep in mind. And as you can probably see, there's a moth right there. All the bugs that's in here has just come since I've had that front flap open. And then the thing I forgot to mention is this thing has been set up now. Today is day 8. And out of those 8 days, 3 was solid, consistent thunder and lightning storms with rain. And then even today, we had 2 separate scattered showers. And I can say this thing is 100% waterproof. And you have these nice overhangs, all the way around. So that does help anything that could potentially kind of start to blow in at an angle, like unless it's just some like really, really heavy windy rain. At that point, you could just take and move your stuff to the center and you should be fine. But right now in here, I've got a Tom shoe cot set up right here, and that's what we're going to be laying on. This right here is our halo table, and then we've got a click chair, and that right there, and then even set off from the side, that only takes up probably about a quarter of the space in this thing. So if you wanted to use this as just a large group shelter, you could easily set up comfortably. I would say, 3 people, and then still have plenty of room in the middle to do whatever you want to do. If that's cooking, set up a card table. The sky's the limit. And I do want to take and do, some different things with this now that I've got it. So if you guys can think of any fun or creative ways you'd like to see something like this utilized in videos and for camping or any other kind of application, let me know, because I'd be curious to hear what all you guys can come up with. But overall, we're not going to be doing anything too elaborate. I do have a new sleeping pad that I want to test out as well, so we'll get that set up and I'll show you guys that. But I mean, that's really everything to say about this thing. It will go, I think, 1 or 2 notches higher. I did want it to kind of sit just a little bit lower because of the storms and stuff we had rolling through. So like, if you could see the bottom of it, there is a bit that's kind of, flattened out against the ground. You can get it perfectly square and uniform. And it does come with stakes, so you do stake this thing down because you don't want to take a chance. Something like this, the mosquito net, believe it or not, will help kind of block just a tiny bit of the wind, but something like this will catch wind like a kite. And also having that roof cap up there does allow a bit of, you know, air to move through and escape, so you don't have to worry about it as much as if it was a fully closed top canopy. And then I really like that roof cap too, because that would make cooking underneath this thing a lot more of a viable option. You don't have to really worry about smoke and all of that stuff. And even just the smell of food being like contained as much, since you have that upper ventilation. Okay, and now let's take a look at the sleeping pad we're going to be trying out. This is the Ellie Gear camping pad. So this looked like a really comfortable and thick sleeping pad, and it really is, because I've not had a chance to officially use it yet, but I did blow it up. It is thick. It's almost got like a bit of a rubbery texture to it, which I was really happy to find out, because that should keep us from sliding around. Now, this is not something, unless you're somebody that just really values having a thick sleeping pad, that you're going to want to take and backpack around. Got the weight listed right here at 4.6 pounds. And the other cool thing is it does come with one of these pumps. The other thing to mention too though is this thing has a slimmer profile, which is why it's perfect for a cot like this, because I've used this, I don't know how well it shows it, this thing, this cot's actually pretty dirty still. You know, this cot's not going to be for somebody extremely broad. Oh, again, I'm 5'10", 150 pounds, wear a size medium shirt, a US medium, and I mean I still got a good, if I go to one side, I'd say that's a good comfortable 3 inches maybe of shoulder width before you're starting to kind of rub against the bars. So we'll see how the width of this sleeping pad fares with the cot here. And the beautiful thing is tonight's going to be the first night that we're dipping below 60 degrees. We're supposed to hit 58 at the coolest, but it's probably going to be running around 62 the majority of the night. So that's why I was waiting, wanted to give it like this 8-day period. Normally I would, you know, give it a couple like solid 3 days of storming and then do this, but it's still been 80 degrees plus at night. So having a uppers 50s night sounds great to me. It looks like this is going to fit the width of this cot perfectly. Okay, and then here you can see just the overall thickness of this bad boy. So that should be a really comfortable sleep, and that dog hair is sticking on there because, as I mentioned, this top does have a bit of a rubbery feel to it. So I'm gonna go take and get what we're going to be using as our sleeping bag for tonight. But before we put that on, I'll just take and lay on this to give you guys a reference. And this thing is like thick and durable enough, like I don't mind having boots or anything on this. Like this does not feel like one you have to really stress a ton about something or something insignificant puncturing this. Oh. But I will say that is very comfortable. And I love the fact that it does fit the profile of this particular cot, because sometimes when sleeping pads take and really kind of just hang over the edges of your cot, that can kind of lead to it kind of shifting in the night, especially, you know, if you get on and off of it, and then it just doesn't tend to work as well. Now to the Woobie. So this is a Pinnacle Mercantile. I'll take and get the tag here and show you guys. But yeah, this is a Pinnacle Mercantile Woobie. You can see right there, liner all-purpose with zipper, made to U.S. military specifications by the Winston-Salem Industries for the blind. So that's something really cool about this. It's like an official Woobie. Now I have the Pinnacle Mercantile black Woobie that's just, you know, standard, no zipper. But then they come out with this one in multicam, and then the other side is kind of this like coyote brown color. And I've already got the zipper started at the foot box end, and I've actually been using this on my own bed for probably about a month, like definitely about 3 to 4 weeks. And it's honestly just really comfortable. Now whenever I'm doing that, I just take and zip up the foot box end just a little bit, just something to stick my feet in. Then you can just drape it over you like a regular blanket, and it's just really easy to regulate your body temperature. Just throw it on and off of you as you need to. But we don't want our ends hanging off the sides, so we're going to take and zip this bad boy up. And I will say, like, having the ability to, you know, turn one of these into a pretty much enclosed sleeping bag is really nice, because the, you know, the Woobie material, if you've ever used one, it is very slick. So regardless of like what you're laying on and stuff, it can be pretty easy to take and just slip out from under it and stuff, and that's not that big of a deal at all in like temperatures like we're in now. But if you're starting to use this, once it, you know, starts to dip below 55 degrees, then end up waking up cold in the middle of the night. So being able to fully enclose yourself is nice. And then, yeah, the size and profile of that will just lay on here perfectly. And there's plenty of room in this thing, that's for sure. I don't really want to get my boots on this thing because my boots are a bit wet now. But yeah, plenty of space. And then we got our OG Buffalo pillow here, and that's what we will be using to sleep. So really everything to touch on now. I'm going to take and close that front section back off, and I'll get back with y'all whenever it is time to hit the hay. Alrighty guys, well it is about time to hit the hay. I'm going to move that right there to act as a little nightstand. That's one thing I really like about that table. One thing that I didn't realize, because I've not used this canopy at night with the light in here. I've just kind of had it set up and letting it get stormed on at night. But the where the top of that is silver. Not only does that help, you know, reflect the sun and heat and all that type of stuff, but whenever you're in here at night and you have a light, because all that I got in here is this tiny little lantern with that first shot. Now I do have a light pointing towards me, but just with this tiny little UCO lantern, that reflective material really just brightens this whole space up. Because I thought I was going to have to bring out my Oudask lantern or something to really light this place up, but this right here is plenty. And I will say there's actually a good number of flying insects out tonight. The only one that's in here right now is that giant moth from earlier, but that'll be perfectly fine. But I am ready to crawl in here. I'm going to put that chair right there, because that's what my shoes are going to stay on. And like I said, again, we're in the backyard, so I just changed into some comfier clothes. Right now it feels like we're probably sitting, I'd say probably about 69 degrees. Comfortable without the Woobie, but it's better to go ahead and get in. Doesn't feel, even though we got like the grass, there's, you know, there's no floor in this, doesn't feel like there's any real moisture being contained. I don't see any condensation or nothing up on the roof. But that's going to do it for now, guys. So I'll take and check back in with y'all in the morning. So until then, good night. Oh, good morning, guys. How's it going? So, we actually ended up getting a couple of little stray showers early this morning, and I'm happy to say that myself and everything under here is still nice and dry, but that means we'll have to wait a little bit longer before I can pack this canopy up. But this overall setup actually does work really, really well. It was super nice to have all the airflow. I mean, after laying down the majority, like the first portion, the first portion of the night, I did keep just this top portion, the top part of the Woobie off of me. I already knew this Pinnacle Mercantile Woobie sleeps really good, but first time on this pad, and I gotta say it's really comfortable. And I was right about that little like slight rubberness to the it's on both sides, so that actually kind of helps keeps it on the cot too. Even the Woobie with its slick material doesn't really want to slide around too much, so that's nice. The only thing that did happen is my pillow seems to have deflated, so I'm gonna have to check it. I don't know if it just leaked a bit, or if it's finally got a hole in it. We have been using this one for, I mean, we've got about, I'd say at least a year out of this one. I have to inspect that later, but I'm ready to go inside and make some coffee, but I think that overall this was a very successful trial run of the Canopy and this pad. Everything else here again has just been stuff that been putting through its paces for at least a couple months. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this one. So as always, please make sure that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not already, share the channel and the videos with your friends, family, anybody that enjoys good old outdoor activities and gear. Be sure to hit me up in the comment section with again what you think of like the Canopy setup and you know, any things you guys would like to see it used for in the future, especially in and around like campgrounds and things like that. As always, I will link to all the gear and stuff that I have tested and shown in this video in the video description. But until the next one, guys, adios.